Hello everyone, this is Tom, the Lone Wolf Prepper. It is June 25th, 2025. I hope everybody is having a great day. Anyway, today's video is going to be on your layers of security. Anyway, and what they may be and what they can be. But anyway, first I want to do a little bit of channel stuff. I haven't done a lot of content on this channel. I've been really busy working on my other channel. Having two channels on YouTube is quite time consuming. Plus, I still work a job. But I'm going to eventually get to the point where I can hopefully make money on YouTube and do this full time. I need a few more subscribers and I can start doing live streams on this channel, which I really enjoy doing the live stream type format. I really like the live stream more than I like making videos, believe it or not. So anyway, if you could support the channel and hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and hit the bell notification, I'd appreciate it. Get this channel growing too. But anyway, to the subject now. The layers of security. What are your layers of security of where you live? Or let's say if you're bugging out. There's different layers of security. Okay? What are yours? Do you have a camera? What is a layer of security exactly? A layer of security is something that's in the way of the bad guys before they get to you. You know what I'm saying? You're the last layer of security. So you got layers like cameras, okay? My nose is itchy. There's a lot of people have cameras on their property and stuff. Sensors, they know when somebody's there. I mean, even infrared, crazy stuff, the more you can afford, the more, surveillance you can have. Some people have walls, dealing with their property that are hard to scale. But that's one layer of security. And I guarantee you when SHTF hits, another layer of security will be explosive devices, such as mines and stuff. You get some military guys out there, we were trained to do a lot of things. That's all I'm going to say. But anyway, when SHTF hits, of course, the layers of security will become more of an obstacle than we can have today. But, cameras and stuff. Well, but see, this thing, they need power too. And you got layers of security that need power, electricity, or some other means of mechanical, something that may not be there for SHTF. Okay? But you can have a wall. That's not going to need no type of electronics or anything like that. Now, another layer that a lot of people have, of course, which is my, not my first layer. My first layer is another layer of security. Being out in the middle of nowhere. Not being surrounded by people. Being miles and miles away from your neighbors. Being isolated. That is one great layer of security. Especially if you're someplace where you ain't going to be dealing with people for at least a couple weeks, no matter what the SHTF situation is. That's a great layer of security. Okay. But no, another one is dogs. Okay. Whether it be a little yipper smart, yipping dog, or, like my layer of security. What got me on this thinking about this subject is because I was on a live stream on my other channel. And I had this guy, one-on-one, I'll fight you. I mean, when you get 3,000 comments in an hour and a half, there's a lot of, not so good stuff. But anyway, and I don't have a moderator. But anyway, this guy's like, I'll fight you one-on-one. And I was thinking to myself, I never said this, but I said, firstly, you try to touch me. My first layer of security, which would be my second layer of security, my dog, because the openness is my first, is going to sit there and take your throat out first if you try to touch me. So my dogs are my second layer of security. And that would be whether I'm at home, I'm out in the woods, whatever. And I do got a dog that is you don't touch me. You just don't touch me. He ain't going to deal with it. And, otherwise he's perfectly fine. If you go to touch me, he's going to have an issue. Okay. And the one thing about him, a layer of security, oh, why my nose itches so much, sorry about that, is it gives me time to get to my boomsticks or whatever I need to use, you know, if I can take them out with my hands or whatever, you know, whatever is the most feasible at the time. But, you know, that's one great layer of security. Now, you live in the city, of course, you have bolted doors. People sandbag their houses and garages and stuff. Now, obviously, where I live, I don't have to deal with stuff like that. But, you know, that's just another added layer of security. Now, personally, if you're sandbagging your house, in my eyes, this is just my eyes because I'm a lone wolf prepper. But as a prepping style, if I was in the city, in a house that needed to be sandbagged, my family would have been out of that city hours before that. Okay, distance. Like I say, getting away from people is your best security. But there's so many things, you know. But you're not going to keep out 1,000 people. That's one thing I don't think preppers, if you're willing to die, your home is your castle, and you're willing to die on that hill, you will die on that hill. You got 1,000 people surrounding your house that are hungry. Basically, hungry and without their meds. Let's not forget about that. Without their medications they take every day that keep the brain housing group in order. You will die in your castle, believe me. And then they'll just move on to the next home. So, you know, I always tell people that live in the city, have a bug out plan. That would be a good idea. And that's another layer of security. Your bug out plan. How do I get the hell out of this mess? Where's your isolated spot, like I say, where you don't have to worry? Your security, first layer of security is the openness, the isolation. Okay, away from people. And if you got your mag, you know, just if you're in the city and you know, and you got the ability to get out, get out. You know, out here where I live, what you pay for rent in 6 months could buy you a house here, a car. You'd have it made. Yeah, we're not going to have stores open 24/7 and stuff, but you're safe. You know, 24-hour McDonald's isn't going to do you no good when your city's being bombed or taken over. I just don't understand, as a lone wolf prepper, you know, your first layer of security in the city, I guess, would be the cops. Well, they're not coming. Okay? Then you got a mob coming down the street. Let's say you got your plate, you got a dog. Or even if you got walls up and stuff with cameras, you still ain't going to... I mean, that's going to be one of the first places they take down, because they definitely know there's going to be something there that they can take. If you got a gated place and with walls and stuff, they're just going to come through the gates. And maybe they'll walk by the house where they think they're so poor that it isn't even worth messing with. I don't know. Maybe that's a layer. Yeah, that is a layer of security. Gray man. I never even thought of that. Yes, gray man is a layer of security. By the way, just look at all the layers of security you have before the bad stuff finally gets to you, okay? And try to have as many as you can. And like I say, the openness is as long-lasting as it can, okay? Never get cornered. That's another thing. Always be able to maneuver. You get surrounded, you're toast. So anyway, study your layers of security, because we got bad times coming, people. Whether it be World War III coming and this country goes nuts because bombs are going off, or they get this race war started, or a civil war starts, and everybody wakes up and realizes that the real enemy isn't your neighbor, but our government, and everybody gets on the same side and takes care of that problem. But anyway, layers of security. Check, look at what your layers are and see if you can tweak them a little bit so they can give you a couple extra minutes if necessary. Anyway, that's all the Lone Wolf Prepper has for today. And I'll increase my video time. Like I say, I'm trying to grow one channel and this channel, and I work full time, and I still got to sleep and stuff. So anyway, I'm doing my best. When I can start making money on YouTube and devote 100% of my time to YouTube, I can get some really nice setup studios and be putting out some really good content. But anyway, until then, we'll just have to do it the way I'm doing it. Anyway, everybody have a great night. This is Lone Wolf Prepper. I'm out.